What's up? Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Shred Show live with me, Josh Pitts, and very special guest, Todd Robertson, joining me this morning. And if you are just joining us, first and foremost, make sure you comment hashtag shred because you are here shredding it with me and Todd this morning. And if you're joining us on the replay, make sure you comment hashtag hustle below because that means you're out there hustling, you're working hard, and then you're coming back and you're learning, you're growing, you're getting better. But very excited to have Todd Robertson joining us from Hometown Capital Group. And before we get too far into it this morning, Todd, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, thanks, man. Glad you got me on.
It's my pleasure. And so before we get too far into what we're going to be talking about today, tell us a little bit about Todd Robertson. Tell us a little bit about Hometown Capital Group. First and foremost, how long have you been in the industry?
I have been in the business for 20 years.
Whew, so just a couple of years, isn't it? I mean, this isn't your first rodeo. You've been doing this a little while, right?
Yeah, started back in October of 2000.
Nice. And then tell me about Hometown Capital Group because this is your company. You started it, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Hometown Capital Group is a company that I opened back in 2005. Was doing business as a sole proprietor for a few years, and then, incorporated back in 2008. I developed the company because from day one I was a broker. I got a love for the business, and I wanted to make sure that my clients got a good personal service with excellent rates. It's the perfect broker model for anybody that's looking to get into the business. Pretty much a one-man shop.
That's awesome. And clearly you're doing great things with it. That's absolutely incredible to see. I mean, how you've grown it. 2008 was not a perfect time to really be starting a brokerage. I mean, that's when things were going down. So you were extremely confident, or you just knew that you had really found a niche. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So one of the things that I know that as we were talking, kind of getting into this episode, into this show, was something that you're really utilizing in your business is the down payment assistance program through AFR. So I want to talk about that a little bit, how you're utilizing it, how you're helping your hometown, because what it sounds like in the town that you live in, it's kind of a smaller town. You have some great relationships. You're kind of really growing your presence there locally. So how are you utilizing AFR's down payment assistance program to really help grow your business?
It is a great tool for first-time home buyers or anybody that is a fireman, police officer, first responder. I show them the benefit of, if you're not wanting to spend your money, if you're not wanting to put your cash into a purchase, let us offer you a grant program that will get you into the house with, either no money or 1.5% down. I honestly like the 1.5% down program better, the 2% grant. These customers realize the benefit of getting in with no money and then having the opportunity 6 months down the road to refinance into a streamline and get onto a market rate. And when you break it down on the numbers and you show them this is what you would be paying now if you went to put the full 3.5% down, opposed to no down payment or maybe just 1.5%. You might pay a little bit more over the first couple of months, but once you go into that refinance 6 months down the road, your overall savings are dramatically different. And it makes sense when you see it on paper. It's just math.
I love that you're talking about, it's not just that first transaction. You're actually educating them on like, hey, let's do this now. And then in 6 months, we'll be able to do a refinance. I think you couldn't have mentioned anything better, because that's what we do as mortgage experts, is being able to educate our borrowers, being able to educate the consumer on what options are best for them. And clearly that's something you're able to do. And clearly it's something that's helping grow your business. You also mentioned first responders, a lot of firemen, policemen. Are those people that you tend to work with quite often?
Yeah. Memphis is actually not a small town, but we're
Sure.
probably the biggest small town in the whole country. Everybody's connected somehow. So yes, there's a lot of firemen that I work with, a lot of police officers, first responders. And then for a while, I believe their program actually did not require that you were even a first-time home buyer, as long as you were meeting their median income guidelines. I believe that's changed now. They've tightened up on some things. But yeah, we got a great market down here for first responders, police officers, firemen, anybody that's in that field.
That's amazing. And again, talking about, we titled this becoming a hometown champion, and that's something you're clearly doing. Memphis is not. We all know it's the biggest small town. It's a fairly large city, but you're able to work with the local community, like you mentioned, first responders, firefighters, all those people who are serving the community so valiantly. and now you're able to give back to them. And I'm sure you've seen countless stories where you have been able to benefit them, helping them get into whether it be a first home or whether it be their second or third home, being able to utilize these different programs that AFR has.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And have you ever, when you're working with these people, and like you said, I'm sure, have you ever come across sometimes where they don't know what their options are, and you really get to be that local expert? You get to be that. You mentioned being a broker. You mentioned how it's helped you, but have you come across those stories where they have just turned to you and said, "Todd, I don't know what I'm doing. Help me out."
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been doing this for so long. Most all of my business is referral business from either past clients, agents that I do business with, people locally from my hometown that know me, know that the longevity that I have in the business and the career that I have in the business is going to benefit them. Um, I've already forgot the question. When you got me talking and I forgot the question. What was it again?
No, it's okay. You've been able to help so many people with this. They come to you as the expert. They just know because,
Yeah.
like you mentioned it perfectly. Your most of your business is a referral business, so you've just established yourself as that hometown hero. If I could absolutely say you've established yourself as that. So they turn to you as the expert usually. Is that correct?
Yeah, I want them to look at me as their trusted mortgage advisor. I want them to, anytime they ever hear the word mortgage, all they think of is Todd. And that's how it's been. That's kind of the mindset I've got with my clients and my base of realtors is I've got a guy, it's Todd, and I'm hometown. That's Hometown Capital Group, hence the name. Um, so yes, being able to offer a hometown experience for my clients along with a program like the DPA that AFR has, it meets perfect because I'm benefiting them without having to spend their money. I'm showing them an option to come back into a not better loan, but a better rate on that same loan 6 months, 7 months down the road. And they thank me. They turn me over to their brothers, their sisters, their church members, their neighbors, and that's what it's all about.
Dude, I could not agree with you more. That's what it is all about. The down payment assistance program with AFR. A lot of times we talk about the one-time close. We've talked about so many programs with AFR, but this down payment assistance, that's why we're so excited to have you, is because you've utilized it. And like you said, it's helped create so many relationships. Is that program in particular perfect for everybody? No, but that there's a lot of people that fit inside that window that can utilize it. And if they don't, there's other opportunities. They know Todd, and I love that you use the word mortgage advisor. It's no longer an expert, no loan officer. You're an advisor because, like you alluded to in the very beginning, you help them with the program, and then a lot of times it's 6 months or even a little bit longer down the road. You're helping them find another program that best fits their needs. Being that advisor to them really opens up the opportunity and the door again for being that local hometown champion where everybody's like, Todd's my guy. He, like you mentioned, anytime they think of mortgage, Todd's the man. Like, I'm going to use Todd. Todd's our guy. No matter what, we're turning to Todd. And that's what I think is so exciting about utilizing and kind of niching in a program like down payment assistance with AFR is you can really get close and you can be that advisor. And guys, I got to give kudos to Todd this morning because we were chatting before and I'm like, hey, you ready to go on camera? He's like, wait a minute. I thought it was audio. I'm wearing a hat. And I'm like, bro, you fit in perfectly with me. I wear a hat every single day. So I appreciate and applaud him coming on in his hat this morning. So he looks great. He sounds great. And Todd, I think this is the first time you've done a show like this, right?
This is the first time I've ever done a podcast. Yeah.
See, there we go. See, he's getting outside of his comfort zone. He's doing things that others aren't willing to do to really benefit his audience. And this is a perfect example, Todd, of how you're able to continue to stay in front and stay top of mind with your audience. So I love that. So when it comes to being, we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but I want to go just a little bit deeper as we start to wrap up here. When you're helping these local experts, when you're helping those local clients, and you're being that advisor, like you mentioned, do you ever come into where it's just we talk about building relationships. Does it come across ever as like a family experience for them? Is that what you shoot for? We always talk about creating value, but I think it's more than that, especially when we're talking about that hometown champion. When you build that relationship, is a lot of times it like being part of their family?
I would say that's like that with everybody, whether it's a DPA customer or just a regular customer. I want everybody to feel the hometown experience. I want them to know that I'm always going to be here. I'm local. I'm 24/7. You can call me anytime. I talk to you on the weekends. You are my family. We're family in this forever because not everybody buys a house every year. So it's not like buying a car. It's not like going shopping for clothes. But if it's 5 years, 10 years, or 6 months down the road, I want them to think of their family member, Todd, that's going to be there to help them with their mortgage.
Dude, I love that. And I think if more people had that mentality of being a family, being a mortgage family, being that hometown where they can call you 24/7, and you're going to pick up the phone and do everything you can to give them the best advice, being that advisor, as you mentioned, I think that is so incredibly powerful. And Todd, I really appreciate you coming on the show this morning, being willing to share how you've used the down payment assistance program with AFR and how you're growing and how you're being the hometown champion there in Memphis. So thank you so much for taking a few minutes this morning and joining us on the Shred Show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
And guys, if you ever have questions about the down payment assistance program, you can always reach out to our good friends at AFR and get your questions answered. And again, how Todd is utilizing it is so very, very brilliant. It opens the doors. It opens new opportunities for relationships to grow and to flourish. So again, thank you so much to Todd Robertson at Hometown Capital Group. Really appreciate you joining us this morning. And as always, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time to go shred. Go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See you guys.